The prospect of human beings returning to the moon within this decade is spearheaded predominantly by NASA through the Artemis program. Several partner space agencies and private companies, notably SpaceX, are contributing to this initiative. SpaceX plays a crucial role by delivering the Lunar Starship vehicle, facilitating astronauts landing on the moon's surface for the first time in over 5 decades. Within the ever-evolving spaceflight industry, the Artemis program remains in a constant state of adjustment. Flight plans and timelines undergo revisions as various factors come into play. Today, let's delve into the collaborative efforts of SpaceX and NASA aimed at reinstating human presence on the moon. Although functioning as a subcontractor within the broader Artemis program, SpaceX shoulders a significant responsibility in delivering the Lunar Starship, the most substantial, potent, and pivotal component of the entire moon landing mission. The human landing system fills a crucial gap in NASA's equipment roster. While they possess the SLS launcher for propulsion to lunar orbit and the Orion spacecraft to support a crew of 4 for a trip around the moon and a safe return, they lack a vehicle to ferry the crew between Orion and the lunar surface. In the Apollo era, NASA ingeniously incorporated a small lunar lander into the rocket that launched their command module. The landing craft nestled within the cargo fairing of the Saturn V, positioned just below the service module. After the upper stage of the rocket coasted in orbit, the service module and capsule would detach, maneuver a short distance, return to dock, and link the nose of the command module to the lunar module. Once connected, the service module thrusters would extract the lander from the upper stage, enabling the entire assembly to journey together towards the moon. The 1960s saw manual maneuvers executed by a pilot for the Apollo program, an era devoid of automation. However, such logistical systems are incompatible with the modern Artemis program. Notably, the SLS Space Launch System lacks the lift capability of the old Saturn V rocket. While the Saturn V could deliver 43 metric tons to the moon, the SLS maxes out at 27 tons, sufficient only for sending the Orion capsule and service module. The SLS exhibits more thrust at liftoff than the Saturn V, but possesses a lower weight capacity, a perplexing scenario attributed to the complexities of rocket equations. Despite potential additional power, NASA aims for more than merely managing with a small, supplementary moon lander. The overarching objective of Artemis is to establish a robust and enduring human presence on the lunar surface. This necessitates a resilient landing vehicle capable of transporting heavy infrastructure while supporting crews during their week-long sojourns on the moon. Here, the Artemis program revolves around 2 colossal rockets. SpaceX secured the first human landing system contract from NASA primarily due to the considerable size and power of their vehicle. Although not the most pragmatic option initially, SpaceX had made substantial strides in launch hardware, notably with the Raptor engine, and had established a solid track record of success with the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy. Elon Musk committed to resolving challenges by 2025, and progress has been commendable thus far. The Starship experienced its inaugural flight in April 2023, followed by an unfortunate explosion, an episode SpaceX views as a learning curve. They aim for an improved attempt, possibly as early as this summer, conceivably in June. The Lunar Starship slated for the moon will resemble the designs tested at Boca Chica, albeit with notable distinctions. Notably, it won't necessitate elements like the black heat shield or large aero flaps used during Earth's re-entry, as they serve no purpose on the moon. For the Lunar Starship to function as a lander, it requires numerous upgrades, with a critical one being a new set of landing legs. Unlike the slender legs seen on earlier Starship prototypes, the Lunar Starship necessitates a wider, more stable footprint akin to a Falcon 9 booster. Additionally, the ship will require landing thrusters mounted on the vehicle's side to facilitate steering during descent since the moon's environment lacks air, rendering traditional aero flaps ineffective. Given the moon's low gravity, the Raptor engine's power might prove excessively robust for landing or launching without causing undue damage to the lunar surface. SpaceX also needs to devise an elevator system to aid crew movement, as the lower 2/3 of the 50-meter-tall ship are occupied by fuel tanks. This system will be crucial for deploying payloads and facilitating crew movement, considering the moon's reduced gravity. SpaceX plans to outfit the upper fairing with crew quarters for a week-long lunar stay. With a spacious 9-meter-wide space at the top of the ship, there's ample room for the crew. The company can leverage its well-established life support system from the Crew Dragon capsule, scaled up for these shorter lunar missions. accommodating a docking port at the tip of the nose cone to facilitate crew transfer between Orion and the Starship remains a key requirement. Despite these engineering challenges, one significant hurdle remains: the rocket equation. While the Starship's Super Heavy booster offers immense thrust and can transport a substantial payload, 100 metric tons, beyond low Earth orbit, it faces a fuel limitation. Starship, using its initial fuel, cannot venture far beyond a few hundred miles above Earth before running out of gas. To surpass this limitation, Starship requires refueling with cryogenic liquid oxygen and liquid methane. SpaceX needs to perfect a tanker variant of Starship, a stripped-down upper-stage vehicle designed solely for fuel transportation. Achieving a fully reusable upper-stage ship capable of multiple docking maneuvers to refill the lunar Starship becomes imperative to make lunar missions cost-effective. Mastering these technological advancements and perfecting a reusable filler ship is critical before the lunar Starship can emerge as a feasible and efficient spacecraft for lunar exploration under the Artemis program. Elon Musk has suggested the potential use of as few as 4 tanker ships, while other estimations indicate a requirement of up to 16 launches to fill one lunar Starship. Achieving verification for a human space flight with the lunar Starship demands SpaceX's successful execution of an uncrewed lunar landing mission before Artemis 3. This places immense pressure on SpaceX to not only develop a functional Starship capable of orbit and re-entry, but also to produce several of them within a limited time frame. Meanwhile, at NASA, they have already conducted an uncrewed Artemis mission using the SLS and Orion to validate the flight hardware. Following the success in 2022, NASA is geared up for the inaugural crewed Artemis launch in 2024. This mission will feature 4 astronauts aboard the Orion spacecraft, circling the moon before returning to Earth for a splashdown. Amidst these developments, the Tesla Space and Space Race Store are set to launch, offering exciting content. Despite the challenges faced by the SLS during its development phase, such as high costs, approximately $4 billion per launch, and concerns regarding fragility, unwieldiness, and inefficiency, the successful validation of the rocket's design means that NASA already possesses flight-ready hardware for Artemis 2 and Artemis 3. The core fuel tanks are currently in the process of construction, while the main engines and side boosters largely consist of repurposed components from the old Space Shuttle, which are already prepared for deployment. While witnessing Starship test flights and occasional explosions is entertaining and captivating, it's crucial to recognize that these events represent the future of human exploration into outer space, lending significant weight to unfolding developments. We hope you enjoyed this video, so make sure to subscribe to our channel for more content.